So let's talk about some battleground states for 2020 right now, because we've got to be honest. Very rarely are presidential elections decided by who wins Massachusetts or how big a margin of victory the Democrat has in California. Those things influence the popular vote. But of course, we have an electoral college system in the US. So reality check time. Tomorrow, we will talk about how in national polls, Donald Trump is way, way, way down in hypothetical matchups against Joe Biden by 17 points, against Elizabeth Warren by 16 points, against Bernie Sanders by 14 points. But do we believe that Donald Trump is going to lose the popular vote by 15, 16, or 17 points in 2020? I don't think so. It would be historic. It wouldn't be impossible, but it would be historic. And we haven't seen anything like that for a very long time. So if we assume that the popular vote nationally is going to tighten up as we get closer and closer to the election, the most likely scenario is that a few key battleground states are going to decide 2020. So I think it's a logical time, less than a year out from the election at this point, to start looking at who of the Democratic frontrunners is doing best in those states. And right now, it is not Elizabeth Warren. Now, of course, I know that there's constant discussions over, am I a Bernie bro? Am I a Warren shill or whatever? I'm not any of those things. I tell you what the facts are and what the polls say. A new New York Times poll looked at 6 important states. Those states are Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Florida, Arizona, and North Carolina. In hypothetical matchups against Donald Trump in those states, Joe Biden is winning 4 states, Bernie is winning 3, and Elizabeth Warren is winning only 1, Arizona. Right now, according to state polls, Biden would defeat Trump in Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Florida, and Arizona, but lose North Carolina. And they are tied in Michigan. So that's 4 for Biden. Bernie right now would beat Trump in Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, but would lose to Trump in Florida, Arizona, and North Carolina. And Warren is leading Trump in Arizona, losing in Michigan, Florida, and North Carolina, and tied in Pennsylvania and Wisconsin. So on this basis, if we say electoral college presidential elections in the United States typically come down to these states, Biden and Bernie are looking far stronger than Warren. But there's actually even worse news for Elizabeth Warren. That polling was among registered voters. But as we know, not everybody who is registered actually votes. If you look at likely voters, it is a disaster for Elizabeth Warren. It's also slightly worse for Bernie, but not nearly as much worse as it is for Warren. Among likely voters, Biden wins 5 of these key states, all of them from North Carolina, all of them but North Carolina. Bernie wins just 1, Michigan, while he's losing to Trump in 4. And Elizabeth Warren, among likely voters, is behind in 5 of the 6 states, and even only in 1 of them, Arizona. But let's dig deeper. This is not enough. What about Ohio? Ohio has been a big marker for presidential elections and a big battleground. Ohio was not included in this poll of key states. If we look at polling in Ohio, which is admittedly a month old at this point, Warren is +4 over Trump in Ohio. Bernie has a bigger lead with +6, and Biden also at +6. So all of the normal caveats here, things can change between now and November of 2020. It's early. Electability is a fraught issue. Likability as part of that is an even more fraught issue. But as we get closer and closer, these are going to be real issues to talk about. Now, as far as it being early, it is early, but in the last 3 presidential elections, when you looked at polls head-to-head hypothetical matchups a year in advance, they were essentially just as accurate as the day before the election. So while it is early and things can change, often they don't. And often hypothetical matchups at this point can actually tell us quite a bit. So these numbers don't look good for Elizabeth Warren. I want to hear from you. What do you make of them? But the other thing we should really be looking at are voter cross sections, because Donald Trump's advantage with white voters, particularly those that are not college educated, continues to be something that is truly a house of horrors and effectively a dystopian nightmare. And that's what I want to get into next in detail.